This is a presentation of BSRN, Box Studios Radio Network. The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here is your host of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard.
And hello, everybody. It is a Friday evening, and the Binghamton Black Bears just defeated the Elmira River Sharks for the second time this season. They did this at home in the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. They did it by the score of 8-3. I am Bob Howard, and we're going to do a little bit of a game recap. We also got some words from Head Coach Brant Sherwood after the team has finished playing their 10th game of the season. Again, they beat the Elmira River Sharks tonight by the score of 8-3. We're going to make this quick. It's going to be like our game recaps, but without all the music and an interview with Coach that I just did just a few minutes ago at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. The Black Bears did a couple of really cool things in this game. The first thing is they basically set a record that maybe was there before, but nobody really kept track of it. But Black Bears radio play-by-play broadcaster Brooks Hill and myself said this is definitely the record. Shortest 4-goal scoring in Black Bears history happened tonight. They did that in the first period. It was the first 4 goals of the game, and they were all by the Black Bears, of course. At 16:29, with a extra attacker because there was a penalty, a delayed penalty, the Daniel Stone scored for the Black Bears, and that was an extra attacker goal. Then Tyson Kirkby scored a power play goal, which was still in effect. So I think there were 2 power plays or 2 penalties against the Elmira River Sharks at the time. He scored at the 17:29 mark. So that's 1 minute apart from Daniel Stone's goal. Then at 17:38, yes, that's 9 seconds later, Gavin Yates scored another goal. That goal, Kozlowski, I just don't think he either saw it, read it, or he didn't really make much of an effort to stop that goal. At the 18:26 mark, Austin Thompson scored the Black Bears' 4th goal. Now, that was 1 minute and 57 seconds since the Daniel Stone goal that started that barrage of goals. So that was 1:57 seconds that they did that, and so the Black Bears started off really well. Now, the first period really was relatively uneventful, except for a few penalties here and there. Black Bears started off with 3 straight penalties, and they did not give up a power play goal, obviously. And then there was a slashing and by Austin Pickford, and Nikita Ivashkin got a roughing along with Stephen Ford. And then Stephen Ford fought a little bit later on with Andrew Logar. I thought it was a really good fight as well. I think Stephen Ford probably got the edge in that, but he didn't get the edge for too long. In the second period, the Black Bears scored 2 additional goals to make this a 6-0 game. Thomas Ray got on the score sheet, and then Brendan Stanko. So at this point, you had 6 different goal scorers for the Black Bears through the first 6 goals. Brendan Stanko's goal was on the power play. Then the tide started to change a little bit, right? In the second period, at the 11:09 mark, Houston Wilson got on the score sheet for Elmira, making this a 6-1 game. It was country night in Binghamton at the Black Bears game. So a guy named Houston, I guess it kind of makes sense that he would score a goal in this game. And then Elmira scored 2 power play goals because in the third period, Binghamton continued to just get into penalty trouble and kept going to the box. And I know that the Black Bears players, some of them weren't happy with these calls, but I didn't see any that were really so egregious against the referees in this particular case. But that's just my eyes up there. I'm not down there on the ice playing the game either. But Martin Mucha scored 2 power play goals, and he did that in a pretty quick time as well. So he did that in 36 seconds apart from each other. So those were pretty quick. Then the Black Bears scored 2 power play goals of their own in the third period. Brendan Stanko getting his second, and then Andrew Logar, who I'm really glad he got that goal. He worked really hard in this game, as well as Thomas Ray, Justin Samaro, and who was the third guy? Josh Fletcher that was on that kind of newly found line and everything. So when it all came down to it, the Black Bears got the win, which was obviously just the way they want to do it. They're 7-0-3. They got tomorrow's game against the Watertown Wolves. And, they scored 4 power play goals on 5 chances. I think they only had 5 chances tonight, and they scored 4 power play goals. At this point, just don't commit penalties against Binghamton because they are going to score on you. Brendan Stanko got the number 1 star. I think that's his 5th or 4th number 1 star of the season. He's having a phenomenal start to this season, and he leads, obviously, the Black Bears in stats right now. Gavin Eads got the 2nd star, and Connor Smith got the 3rd star. But let's talk to head coach of the Binghamton Black Bears, Coach Sherwood. I just talked to him just a few minutes ago at the arena in the locker room. So we'll take it over to Coach, and we'll be right back right after this.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net.
You're listening to the Power Play Coach Show.
Coach, obviously 10 games in, 7 wins, 3 losses, but a great way to cap off the first 10 games tonight.
Wonderful way. I mean, we fought through a ton of adversity, a ton of penalty trouble. We had a parade going to the box, and a lot of the guys don't agree with some of the calls, but they just bared down and went to work and waited for our opportunity to score, I think, 4 goals in a couple minutes. So pounced on those opportunities, but very happy with the W.
I was going to ask you to start off the game kind of slow, but then 4 goals in a minute and 57 seconds. That's a Black Bears record. It seems like this team can score in bunches.
Yeah, so it just causes a lot of belief in our room. So, I think you've said it on the podcast a few times. That those games against Carolina and coming back and dealing with adversity in the first period and knowing that we can score those type of goals in bunches it's huge, and there might be a situation down the road where we're going to rely on that experience.
What goes through your mind when the Elmira scores 3 in a row?
I'm not too happy. So I really think it's due to penalty trouble, and then a little, complacency and not keeping the pedal to the metal. But, we still responded and kept it going and ended up scoring, I believe, 2 on the power play. Mm-hmm. So power play's clicking and boys are clicking. It's just it's been a great 10 games so far. If
I counted right, 7 guys scored. Brendan Stanko got 2 power play goals. Your thoughts on the scoring throughout the team, not just one line here? So Tyson mentioned it in your on your podcast of just not relying on just one line. I really think we have 3 first lines, and you can go 1A, 1B, 1C, and that was kind of the plan going in this season. It's just everyone's got to show up and everyone's got to support each other, and then we had that tonight, so it all paid off. You had to create a new line tonight, bringing in Justin Samaro back into the lineup, and they started. Fletcher, him, and Ray. What did you think of their performance tonight? It was great. It was gritty. All those guys spent a ton of time on the PK, not so much Ray, but
Their opportunities 5-on-5, I thought they were defensively responsible, and they did a great job, and they provided some energy when we needed it. Logar, he's a feisty guy. He was also part of that line, but Psalms coming back in was it was huge, and it's not easy to get a call the morning of and come in and play, and he's blocking shots, selling out, getting in guys' faces, and doing a lot of things offensively, so I was very happy with his performance.
So when some of your big guys don't score, but everybody else seems to score, worried about that, or pleased with still the outcome?
I'm so pleased with the outcome. You can't just rely on one guy every night, or you just can't rely on one line every night, so having that, scoring depth is absolutely huge.
And that was Coach Sherwood shortly after tonight's game. Obviously very pleased with the result, and probably would like if there was a few less power plays for the other team. The team got into some penalty trouble. But through 10 games, they are 7-0-3, and he's pretty happy with that, as you could hear from the audio. Also tonight, Connor McAnanama scored his first win of the season. So congratulations to Connor. I believe it was Nolan Egbert that went out there, I believe, to get the puck for him after the game was over. Tomorrow, the team travels to Watertown to play against the Watertown Wolves on Saturday night. I know that Brooks Hill is doing something really special. They're not actually going to travel to the game, being that Watertown has a very unique place for the visitors to do their broadcast. He's going to be actually at the arena, and they're going to set up a pretty cool interactive thing with you, the fans. So that'll be very cool as well. So I'm Bob Howard. Thanks for listening to this Power Play Post Show game recap and conversation with Coach Sherwood. I'm Bob Howard. We'll talk to you next time right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Patitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.